This bizarre sort of topsy-turvy year known as 2021 just continues to confound and amaze because despite all the focus on renewables, Bank of America reports that traditional energy funds posted their biggest inflows ever last week. Oil and gas getting some love as oil and gas prices both rise to nearly decade highs. Energy, by the way, the top performing sector in the S&P 500 so far this year. And the run for some may not be done. Goldman Sachs out with a couple of names this morning it thinks can go higher, making the cut. Names like Phillips 66, Baker Hughes, Pioneer. They also like services companies like Schlumberger and Halliburton as well, or a few other names on that ExxonMobil, Pete, as far as a demand recovery type story. Many of these names have nearly doubled. Are you a buyer or a holder of any of these companies?
I am. I was overloaded, Brian, for too long probably in the energy patch, and it all started almost exactly a year ago. It literally was the start of November last year. We started to see a lot of option activity coming into just about everything there, and we continue to see that rolling. Although it's slowed down, I would say this. It's interesting that we're talking about this because energy in the options world has absolutely slowed down, now almost to a trickle from where it was. So I still have plenty of exposure, but I cut back on a lot of it. I have Marathon Oil, I have Marathon Petroleum, I have those for beta like Steve was talking about with the miners as far as gold's concerned. So you want to have some of those beta names, but names like ExxonMobil and Chevron, I own Chevron as a stock, Exxon as options. I just look at those names, you talk about free cash flow and we talk about demand coming back. All of those reasons are why I still want to hold on to some of these, but I've had to trim back a lot of them because I've gotten more into the EV space and less into energy.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the transition might go, but it's kind of funny because all the focus on Rivian and Lucid and Tesla and EVs, and here's oil and gas, dinosaur juice outperforming, and the stocks are doing well as well. Are you a buyer and owner in these stocks or options?
Yeah, I'm a holder of Halliburton. I've held Halliburton for quite a long time, actually. And of course, if you're taking a look at its share price, I mean, we saw some pretty abysmal price action. That thing last year got down to the single digits. It's probably a five-bagger, I would guess, at today's closing price off the dead lows of last year. But I think it's important when you take a look at a name like this to also remember that it's still trading at about half the enterprise value that the company did at its peak. Now, when energy prices are high, that should stimulate the oil service companies like Schlumberger and Halliburton. That obviously is a tailwind. Of course, when you're trying to focus on North American production as the source of that, then you're kind of hoping that you obviously have a political climate that's going to support that type of activity. I'm not sure that we do necessarily, but I continue to own Halliburton. I think Schlumberger, I would as well.
Yeah, we'll see if there's more drilling, Mike, because these companies pop their head up and say, we're going to drill more. Investors just, hit them on the head and put them back down the mole hole. We'll see what happens.